Welcome back, True Seeker. Late night stream, early Sunday morning, October 8th. And again, just so many people so interested in just stirring up drama and rumors and lies and just people that don't have integrity. It's sad. It's sad. If you guys don't realize, there's always people making false videos and allegations about me. Just yesterday, Saturday, October 7th, a day big things are happening in the world that people should be focused on. Instead, people are just creating the newest, craziest rumors. If you guys haven't heard, GematriaEffectNews is a multinational operation operating in over 150 countries and making billions of dollars per year. Yeah, somebody showed the paperwork. I'm making billions every year off this, you guys. Who knew? And I for whoever generated up all these fake documents and this website that came out of God knows where, it reminds me of the work of the same person who threatened me for Christmas Eve way back in 2016 before a car crashed through my house. And that person who threatened me, he said, "You have no idea how many people I employ on YouTube." And I really don't know. I know that man who threatened me, though, is quite a capable person because not only did he threaten me for Christmas Eve in a car crash through my house, then he threatened me on New Year's Eve that I'd end up dead like a squirrel, only for the next day to wake up on New Year's Day and have a dead squirrel on my doorstep. And again, these people are crazy, literally out there killing squirrels to try and intimidate me. And anyhow, like if you're even persuaded by this stuff, oh, maybe Zach's a multi-billionaire and Gematria Effect News is like some new world. I mean, it's such a joke. It's such a joke. And but of course, this is coming out of what happened yesterday. We had a gentleman on who nobody knows what his real name is. It changes by the day. But anyhow, RPM Tre wanted to join me and share a story. He's staying up late, so I'm gonna let him get it in first, and then I'll say the rest of everything I need to say. But what's up, Tre? Thanks for coming on, man.
What's up, Zach? It's been a while since I've been on here, and it's a goddamn shame that I had to come on here like this with this bullshit, man.
Sure. So again, Tre, for people who are not familiar with RPM Tre, I got to meet him when we went out to Oklahoma City. Came out with his cousin, and it was obvious that the people at the censorship Nazis at YouTube did not like RPM Tre's message because as soon as he came out to Oklahoma City, all of our live streams got cut off. And again, it's not that he did anything wrong; it's that he came with a very powerful message, and it's a message that undermines one of the major agendas going on in this nation. Of course, there's a war against free speech, and there's also a war against the Second Amendment. And RPM Tre stands up for both of those things in a big way with this Hug an AR-15 campaign, Hung an AR-15 owner campaign, I should say. And if you guys are not familiar with RPM Tre, definitely sub his channel. I'll put the link in the video and I'll have it as the top pinned comment. But yeah, he gave me a heads up on something that I was not sure about a little more than a year ago now, and he wants to come on and finally talk about that story, and then I'll echo on when he's finished. So you got the floor, Tre.
All right, I got like I charged my battery after the live stream I did with your buddy, so I got like 17% battery, and I'm in the quietest place in my house while my kids are sleeping, and I can't even get a charger to my phone. So I'm gonna run through this as quickly as I can so that people can understand what's going on. But what happened in July was that I was getting a whole lot of enthusiastic support for my movement, and I was told that Texas will really appreciate somebody like me coming down there to the Lone Star State to talk that gun shit the way I talk that shit. And I was told that tons of gun-loving Texans will be there, and that some of the guys were familiar with my work and they were eager to meet me and all this other stuff. And I was told this by somebody. Can I name this person?
Yeah.
Her name is Angel, and she was real heavily involved with trying to put in some good work with Zach. She seemed to be very helpful, almost overly helpful. I was kind of surprised by how enthusiastic she was to help Zach and to help me in the ways that I thought that she was helping me. And she said that she had a big crowd of people that I can get a lot of support and recognition from by coming down to the Lone Star State, Austin, Texas, to talk that gun shit. And when I got down there was no one. There was her, another shady ass fucking character. I think his name was Blake. The only other good guy down there that I actually knew of, and let me check with you, Zach, to see if this guy's even really legit. You do believe Jeremy White is a good guy, right?
Jeremy White is for sure legit. He's probably one of the most legit human beings on earth.
I felt he was, and that also makes it very strange that all of this happened, because not only were we on Capitol grounds right outside the Capitol building doing what we do best, got the sign and everything, we getting the hugs from the public while we're armed like this. And that's the point of what it is that I do, to prove that I can talk the way I talk, that I mean no harm to the public whatsoever. And upon seeing me, I bet you most people, before they even get a good chance to hear what the fuck it is I'm talking about, that they will come up and give me a hug when I'm armed as fuck. That means the police, you a trained officer. You better not approach me like I'm a fucking rattlesnake. The public is fucking loving me. I'm getting hugs and women blowing kisses from passing cars and all type of shit. They love me out here. It's not that big of a deal. You should relax if you're going to approach me, Mr. Officer. Step number one. That's exactly what that does. And we was doing this out there. We had a whole quinceanera party come up to us. All the young Mexican kids all dressed up nice. One girl had a special dress on, a little better than all the rest of them. She was too young to be getting married. I knew that's not what that was. She was a young girl. And they all came up, almost knocked us over, trying to hug all of them. They were loving it. It was a beautiful thing, man. And we were outside the Capitol grounds, and Angel was encouraging us to go inside the gate. And I'm looking around, and I don't see any signs that say that no firearms beyond this point. So because of that, I'm thinking, how much could I be in hot water about this? There's no signs out here. You would think in Texas, they want to make this shit clear. This is the point of no return. Don't do that shit. But I saw no signs. And I still expressed this a desire to stay on the outside where I know we were safe, instead of muddying the waters or getting into a gray area by crossing the fucking gate. But everybody else that was there that was talking to Gematria shit had left me and my cousin out on the sidewalk. And I told Cuz, I feel like we down here alone doing what we do way up there. Why would we be doing that? I want to stick to the crew. But what the fuck is going on? So we go just inside the gate. I got probably like 15 feet inside the gate for the most part, man. My camera was off. I was trying to preserve my battery and all type of shit, man. And me, my cousin, and Jeremy White, good guy, we the only ones that are armed, but we are all inside the gate. And just as 3 or 4 sheriffs come out the fucking woodworks approaching us, we hear, "Get your hand away from that rifle." And they're talking to Jeremy because he is trying to get his gun that's on a sling in a proper position so he can bend down and pick something up, a sign or something that he had on the ground. So he was kind of bracing his firearm. He wasn't holding it by the fucking pistol grip. He wasn't holding it like that. He was holding it to keep it from swinging or bouncing onto the fucking ground or something from his sling. And this cop comes out and does that. Freaks out. And as soon as he seen Jeremy kind of do his hands like this, we all kind of did this. And when I looked around, Angel wasn't there. Blake was the closest one to the fucking gate, but he was technically inside the gate. But all of the guys that had guns were inside the gate being approached by these fucking sheriffs. When the whole time I'm going, Angel, I don't think we should do this. Nah, come on, man. I've done this before. Haven't you seen my video that did the videos with the gun guys down here in Texas? Ooh, oh yeah, the gun guys that aren't here. You dumb bitch. You told me they was going to be here. There's no crowd of fucking gun-loving Texans down here. It's me, my cousin, and Jeremy. That was it. And we were all primed for being targeted by sheriffs while we were on Capitol grounds with these fucking rifles. And luckily, the cop that pulled that pointed the gun off at Jeremy, when Jeremy put his hands up, the cop put his fucking gun down and pointed with his finger, said, "Get outside the fucking gate." Once we got outside the gate, that same sheriff, he was being cool. He had his nose in the air like he was better than everybody, but he assured us that there was no problem, that everything is fine, but he wanted us to get us outside the gate so he can tell us, "Don't go back inside the gate. Have a nice day." He was trying to be pretty cool about it. But as he was being cool, I stopped and asked him, "Hey, yo, what you think about this potential gun ban? They want to ban an assault weapon, and what the fuck is an assault weapon? I got a defense rifle. I don't even know what the fuck they talking about when they say assault. I never assaulted anybody in my fucking life. Why y'all attributing these actions to inanimate objects? But that's not what my shit is for. It's for defense only. I get to define that." And I'm telling this guy this, and he goes, "Oh, I can't tell you about my moral position, about how moral it is, about gun control, blah. When I went, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? And I started getting loud, and I was like, you don't want to fucking talk to me because you're in conflict. Your uniform makes you act like something that you're not. And I'm talking to him like this, and he's getting kind of, he poking his chest out and kind of approached me a little bit. And my cousin was like, come on, cuz, you getting kind of loud and shit, come on. And then a guy from about 30 feet away approaches me with a bad leg. He had a cast on his leg and he's hobbling like this. I'll hug you, man. And it's like 200 people outside the Capitol building watching us. So I'm walking towards this dude and he's hobbling on this fucking cast to give me a hug. And I gave him a big old hug and everybody's watching. And I pointed to the cop and I go, you don't want to need a fucking hug. Look at your fucking face, bro. You imagine I asked you a question? You a bitch, bro. This is crazy. Look at your face right now. And everybody was just like, man, this is crazy. And the whole time, Angel, that lured us in there, was acting like she had no idea what was going on. She came over after all this shit had blown over. We could have been blown away on the fucking Capitol buildings. And right when that was happening, she is on her phone, looking over her shoulder, laughing at almost nothing. And she disappears when the cops come. When I see the cops come and I look around, this bitch is way outside the fucking gate. I was like, you were just standing here. You escaped the heat. How? That was perfect timing. And it just all felt like a setup. I got sold a dream to come down there. She was promoting for us to get inside that fucking that gate, and it just seemed way off to me. And as soon as we did it, she'd go, no, let's go closer to the building. Let's go closer to the building. And I'm going, why the fuck would I go way up there, bro? I'm down here and I'm already not feeling comfortable. If these motherfuckers see me 10 feet from a fucking entrance or a fucking window of the Capitol building, that's not gonna look good to nobody, regardless of what the fuck I think. They not gonna fucking like the sight of that. I'm not going up there. And after she stopped trying to encourage us to do that, she also fucking left the area and the cops showed up like that. Man, fuck that shit, bro. That shit is weird as fuck to me. I don't trust her. I don't like that shit. And that shit made me feel like something. And that's strange that this other guy, it was close to this bitch. Come on, bro. Have y'all forgot that happened? Tweaking, bro. Bullshit. I got like 7% left on my batteries. Zach, go for it, man. What you got, man?
Somebody's saying a comment in the chat, and I know what they're saying is true. See, they've been trying to slander your name. This same group of people that you got in that stream with tonight, they're attacking you. Not everyone in that stream, but some people in that stream are spreading the message everywhere that you're like kind of like this bad guy, and you tried to you came at Angel with all these inappropriate sexual messages, and now you're kind of telling this story to escape that. So if you want to address that.
Oh yeah, I do. As a matter of fact, because for real, I thought Angel was attractive. I'm a natural fucking man. If I thought that, hey girl, you kind of cute. I'm down here in Texas. If that's what I was on, look at me. Do you think I give a fuck about rejection from a female? That can't be the reason why a guy like me that stands as tall as I am about what the fuck I'm on. That I would be so jaded by that what am I making up the cop situation? I'd have to be making it up for that to be the case, but I'm not making that up. It can't even be related. That is some bullshit that people throw in it and be like, let's discredit what the fuck he's talking about because he made a fucking pass and got rejected. Man, get the fuck out of here. All that shit happened like that for real. She tried to lure us inside the gate. I didn't want to go and I fucking told her. She left us behind. When I didn't see no signs, I felt comfortable with going in. She abandoned shit right when the fucking cops came. Then played dumb like she didn't know what the fuck was going on. She sold me a dream that all these guys were going to be down about the gun shit and it didn't happen. All of that shit is still legit. So all of that bullshit that somebody want to try to apply to that, you're not smarter than me. You sound fucking stupid. Or you got to call me a liar about all the other fucking details before you can say that.
Well, here's what I'll say too. The same people that are spreading those rumors are the same. Like,
shit.
I tuned into a little bit of this drama live stream with all these made up stories, and that GematriaEffectNews is a multi-billion-dollar empire, which is it's just so laughable. It's like, is anybody really going to believe that? But then I heard one of these goofies get on there and he said, go to this website. And then they go to the website and then there's nothing there. And he's like, sometimes you can see that Zach's tax returns for millions of dollars a year. And it's just like, I mean, like, who's listening to these idiots? So go to a webpage where there's no evidence of anything and then just make some absurd allegation. It's just, it's crazy. And again, the same person you're talking about So last year when I was in Buffalo, I went out to Buffalo to educate about the mass shooting blamed on the white supremacists back on May 14th, 2022.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Angel just showed up in the middle of the night and she called me and I was trying to crash because I was planning to get up early. I got into Buffalo late and I was going to get up early and be out there. So I ended up having to get up and go pick her up at the airport in the middle of the night. And when I pick her up, she says, "Oh, I don't have a place to stay. You think I can just stay at your hotel?" And I said, "Well, I can get you a room at the hotel." So I got her a room there, and it was the weekend and no reservation. It was expensive as hell. And then she didn't have any money for any hotel, so I get her a hotel for however many nights. And then when she was supposed to go back, she said her flight got canceled, which seems suspect to me because there was no reason for it to be canceled. So then she needed to stay there another day. But anyway, the point is, the first night she gets there, she comes in the middle of the night. I got to pick her up. And then in the morning when I'm going out, I text her and I said, "Hey, I'm going to take off. Do you want to go out right now?" And she says, "Yeah, wait for me. I'll be out there in 5 minutes." And I'm waiting about 20 minutes in the lobby. And then I text her again. I said, "You still coming out?" She said, "Oh, yeah, I'll be out there any minute." Man, she didn't come out for until like another hour after that. So I'm sitting around for nearly an hour and a half waiting for her. I mean, I was like, why is she even here? I don't need her here. I didn't ask her to come here. Why show up in the middle of the night? Why? And then it's like, okay, I'm spending all this extra money on her hotel. Now I'm getting out to the place late because I'm waiting for her. So then what was annoying to me is when I got back from Buffalo, my mom says to me when I get back home, she says, "You shouldn't have that Angel girl come out because the whole time like you were talking and she had the camera, she was just talking over you about stuff that nobody even cared about. And like she'd walk away when you were talking so nobody could even hear anything."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Really?" Because I'm not paying attention. I'm out there on the megaphone. I'm interacting with the crowd. I'm not paying attention to what the camera person's doing.
Yeah.
I mean, like, how can she like? And then a lot of people said that. I heard it first from my mom, but then other people started to say it too. And so, anyway, now the latest troll has become, "Yeah, right, the Matrix," and nobody knows this guy's name, right? Nobody knows what his name is. When I met him in Buffalo, I thought his name was like Thomas, so I kept calling him Thomas. And then Angel said to me, like on day 2, she's like, "Why do you keep calling him that? His name's Tabari." And I said, "Really?" I said, "Why didn't he correct me?" She's like, "Oh, he's just cool like that. He'll just let you call him whatever." And then anyway, if anyone just saw the live stream he just did the other day, I asked him, I said, "What is your actual name?" And he said, "My name is Tua," and he spelled it out Tuwa. So this dude's been known as Thomas, Tabari, and Tua in the time he's been in this community, and we still don't know what his real name is.
Yeah.
But the reason I'm bringing him up is because every night I was in Buffalo, those two would go rendezvous at night, and I don't know what's going on. It could be anything. But again, you think about it, there are people who've hung around this community but never help spread the work of Gematria. It's like, why hang around a Gematria community if you're never going to contribute? And again, I'm reminded of this movie that came out in the early 2000s by Michael Moore, and this is no Michael Moore endorsement, but he did that movie Fahrenheit 9/11, which wasn't that bad of a movie. And one of the things that he revealed in the movie is how much of this new Department of Homeland Security money is being spent on like little government informants that are meant to go spy on anything that the government might see as like a threat or some kind of opposition. If you've never seen that movie, Fahrenheit 9/11, that's a segment of the movie. All these little government informants out there kind of just keeping tabs on things, little spies trying to break up things, disrupt things, bring drama. And then again, the same person you're talking about later that year, she comes out to New York City. And I had asked her not to come out to New York City because what had just happened in Austin with you was suspect. And then when I was doing the stream to try and like raise awareness that we're going to be out in New York, come out and support us, she was one of the first callers to that stream. And she just brought all this negative energy, like, be careful in New York. You got to be really quiet, and you guys can't you'll get arrested. You'll all be in jail. It was like, okay, this isn't the phone call we need. We don't need some, let's all be afraid and just be real silent and do nothing in New York. I mean, like, why are you calling in?
Which is weird to me because she's real protective to keep y'all from going out there about the legal troubles you might get into. But she was trying to assure me that she had already had a history of being with armed Texas behind that fucking gate in Austin, that I had nothing to worry about because she had been there, done it before, that this was nothing new, and she knew that I was going to be okay with it. It was actually the fucking opposite of the truth, which is something that haters out there won't consider. She actually said this to me. It turned out to not be true. She got her ass out of the fucking fire before the cops came out. Right before. I'm talking about literally. She's making a greater distance between her and me and my cousin. As the cops were approaching, she was moving away from us in the same fucking motion, just like this. It did that, yo. That's what it did. Fucking strange to me. Where was all of this protection then? Because she actually lied and said there's something that she got away with was actually untrue. She wasn't out there with no Texas boys behind them gates with no guns, being completely welcome and unbothered by law enforcement. Fucking lie. Period. What the fuck that got to do with me saying that this bitch was cute? What the fuck that got to do with it, hater? Haters, address me right now. What does that got to do with it? It's got nothing to do with it, and you're gonna sound like a fucking idiot by trying to push that like you're gonna ignore everything I fucking said. None of it is lie. That's exactly what happened. Face that shit. Don't fucking address me with no bullshit. I don't know who the fuck y'all think y'all talking to with that bullshit. Bro, it ain't gonna work on me. I'm unbothered by that dumb shit. You're an asshole and you exposing yourself for being fucking ignorant, trolling, siding with somebody because you want to side with them. I don't know where you goofies come from, bro. This shit is strange to me, but that's what happened. Where was all that protection, Angel? Fuck out of here.
Yeah, again, Trey, what I've learned from doing this for all these years is there really are like I just call them disruptors. They're like people that will come into your life and kind of pretend like they're your friend, but really it's just like they're there to bring drama and chaos and start rumors and then start slandering you online. Because I've gone through this so many times and just it's always unprovoked. It's like people I've done nice things for, gave them some money. I mean, it was 2 winters ago. A guy started texting me about how his son was dying, and he'd come out and pound a payment in Spokane. He needed all this money. I kept sending him all this money, all this money, all this money. Next thing I know, he's slandering me all over online. I'm just like, so I give you a bunch of money, and now it's just years ago. I take this guy out to eat. The second time, he's just racking up the bill. I couldn't believe he kept just ordering more and more stuff because I told him I'd get it. I was like, man, how many things are you going to order? How many drinks, dessert? I was just like, I never seen anybody do this. And then right after that, he's online making videos about how he found out I'm like a Jewish shill. And I'm just like, so anyway, I'm well aware of this game, that there's just these people out here and it's like, this is their job. Their job is to mess with people who are going against the grain. And
hey, Zach, I want to continue this. I think I can actually get a charger to my phone. Let me go get my charger quick.
Don't wake up your kids. We can do it later.
Oh no, we'll be fine. We'll be fine.
Okay. Yeah, it is late. I'm normally I'm in bed right now, but I was busy today working all day, and I saw he was streaming and he's stressed out. And you know, if you guys don't know RPM Tre, what he does, not this whole drama thing right now and having to air all this out, like this isn't what it's about, but what he actually does in his town in Iowa, in Cedar Rapids, he gets out there with his sign. And he's just reminding people that having a gun doesn't make you a bad guy. You know, this gun is here for a reason. This gun is here to defend me, my family, you know, my rights, my freedoms. That's why we were given that in the Second Amendment. And that's his message. And he communicates it very well. And yeah, it's just crazy. It's just like people are even trying to attack him right now. And I think the reason he's getting attacked is because he's cool with us and he's not part of this shilly network that's hanging around here. And again, it's just time to clean house. A lot of these people who are acting goofy right now, I'm not shocked about any of it because I've just had my eyebrow up on all of them. It's like, yeah, right. I always wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt, but I've been weirded out since Oklahoma City because the filmmaker who came out, Chris Emery, he pulled me aside and he told me that he knew Yeah Right was a Fed, which seemed unbelievable to me. And I still don't think Yeah Right's a Fed, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's some kind of informant. Just like how yesterday, or when you saw when he was on the stream, he couldn't come with one single straight answer. I'm asking him simple questions. He couldn't give one straight answer. He couldn't even really tell us what his name was. I mean, how suspect is that?
Yeah. Yeah, they was doing the same thing to me when I was over there earlier tonight, man. I was just asking them just trying to ask them like a series of 1 or 2 or 3 questions to kind of establish that what they were saying was being received by me in a way that they intended. So I can get to a conclusion and say A plus B and C is this is what you trying to say. And I couldn't even get to the conclusion. They just kept on cutting me off. I'm like, bro, you know what I'm trying to say. And you don't want me to say that shit. Just let me say it. Let me say it. And they wouldn't let me say shit, bro. And then blame me for being upset. And by the end of the stream, I was yelling and cussing. Then I was mad as fuck. Then y'all played me this whole fucking time, man.
Exactly. That's what they do. They're provoking. And I heard you talking about Wise. Wise is a provoking person. Wise will talk a whole lot of shit and get under your skin for no reason. That guy came, I didn't even know who he was. He came at me at the end of 2016 because I helped build a website called All for Truth that was meant to just help people organize and network because the censorship was starting to get bad. I was like, here's just a place where you can share stuff, find out who's about truth, network in your community. You're not going to get deleted here. All of a sudden, this guy just starts making all these videos about me with all these accusations and why I'm a Fed and all this stuff. And I was just like, who is this guy? Where's he coming from? And you know what's funny is back then, Yeah Right wasn't really like cool with me. He was cool with Wise and he was kind of chipping in, but he wasn't as bad as Wise was. But then Yeah Right changed over time. And I was like, see, okay, Yeah Right warmed up and he realizes that I'm not this bad guy. And him and I had been cool for a while, but I'd been wondering about some things, and lately it became obvious that, again, I still don't think he's a Fed, but whatever Chris Emery was trying to warn me about, I see something's up. Wise, though, is no good. And see, again, the reason I got annoyed with Yeah Right recently is because a year ago, when we were out in New York City, Yeah Right was fed up. He said, I'm done with Wise, man. He said, this guy's nothing but a hater and a provoker and a divider, and all he does is stir up stuff and start rumors and try to sabotage everything that's not about him.
Yeah.
And I said, that's what I've seen the whole time he's been around. Because if you don't know, the whole time I was driving across the country, Wise was streaming all day, every day about me being a shill and a cult leader and all this stuff, just making up all this stuff to try and tear this down. And I just thought it was funny that on the 1 year anniversary of our 9/11 gathering, out of all the content Yeah Right could have shared about Maui, he decided to share Wise's video, which is just regurgitating what other conspiracy theorist nonsense is being put out there. If you haven't heard this stupid theory, it's that graphene oxide was spread over Maui and it's what caught it on fire, which doesn't even make sense because graphene oxide is not even flammable. But I'm like, why is he going to share Wise's video on the 1 year anniversary when I know exactly what he was saying a year ago today, that he was done with this? And he's never shared anything of mine. And we're putting out all this super dope work on Maui that's actually important and verifiable and factual. He can't share that, but you're going to. So I was like, I feel like this guy's trying to play head games. And I didn't say anything. I didn't make even a point about that. I was like, whatever. But then lately, he's been just blowing my phone up at night, texting me about all the drama and all the people attacking me in the videos. Like, you see this person's attacking you now? You see this person's attacking you now? And I kept texting back. He's like, I don't really want to know about this, man. I'm just trying to chill, sweet lady. I'm not worried about all these haters. I don't even like to know about this drama. But he's making a point night after night to text me paragraphs about all the drama. And I'm just giving back 1 and 2 word responses like, it's whatever, I don't want to worry about it. But then I start to realize, like, okay, is like, so anyway, while he's telling me that this person's depressing him so much that's talking all this shit about me, this is what he's texting me. He's like, it's depressing me so much, man. I'm just going to move to Mexico. I'm giving up on America. All these people are ungrateful assholes. So anyway, next time I'm in his stream, the same person he's texting me about how depressed he is about them, he's just chopping it up with them like they're the coolest thing ever in the chat. And I'm like, so you're texting me all at night about how I need to know about all this drama from this person and how sick you are of them and what a weirdo they are. But then you're just cool online. I'm like, this stuff starts to not make sense. And then I'm just reminded like how people are just constantly trying to create drama and rumors and stories and keep you distracted. And it's like both of us are up right now talking about shit that we shouldn't even have to be talking about. We should be sleeping in bed, honestly. But yeah, again, there's just so many people out here that are just snakes in the grass and they don't really bring anything to the table. Here, what's Yeah Right the Matrix's movement? To be perfectly real, I've always given this guy the benefit of the doubt, but what's he bringing to the table? I'm going to tell you what he's bringing to the table. Not shit. He's not bringing shit to the table. He's driving around bitching about people smoking weed and then always saying he's never smoked weed in his life. It's like, I don't know why you're harping on about weed so much when you've never smoked it in your life. You shouldn't even have an opinion about it, really. I don't know why it's so important to you. The other thing he talks about all the time. Fructose isn't sugar. He says that all the time. It is. I'm sorry. Fructose is sugar. I don't know why you're always talking about that. So again, the guy kind of just drives around and bullshits all the time. Here's how my mom summed up Yeah Right a year ago. She's like, he's a handsome guy, but I don't think he knows what he's talking about. I said, yeah. I said, that's about right. He's a handsome guy, doesn't know what he's talking about. But
Yeah, see what I heard the little convo y'all had about where it is, what's his source of income for him being who he is, but being as well off as he is. Now, when he was deflecting answering that, when he claims to be such a good guy for the people, you would think that he would be so eager to explain it to you how he has circumvented the systems and their bullshit by winning a money game that appears to be being won by the motherfuckers who created it. That's who's fucking really winning it. You would think that he would be so eager to tell that story that you wouldn't be able to get him to shut up. That's what I would think would happen. He
So again, I
refused
don't know
to
how much of the
address you.
conversation you saw, but that's exactly what I said. I said, because I had my pen in my hand, threw my pen up and had to walk away. I was like, why are we having so much trouble understanding why you would want to do this? If you came from nothing and overcame, and now you're living in this big, nice house, and he really does. He has a fleet of luxury vehicles. He comes out in like some people have a whole bunch of clothes. Every time I've seen him, he's come out in a totally different luxury car. This guy has so many cars. It's like, what's he doing? I started to wonder, does he have like a car dealership? Maybe he's got a car dealership. I don't know what he's got going on. He got something going on, but he got all these nice cars. And again, his comment back to me is, he's like, what are you doing, pocket watching now? I'm like, no, I'm not pocket watching. I just want to know how you came up. I want to know how a man, because not to be a hater, but I mean, you see his video titles. He writes it probably about at a second or third grade level. So that's what makes me think he's not a Fed, because he doesn't have any handle on grammar. He literally writes it about a second or third grade level. And he says he doesn't read, which I believe because the way he writes. So I know to be a Fed, you got to have like a certain level of education, which he doesn't have. But that doesn't mean he couldn't have made money in his lifetime. So it's just like, share your story. How did you generate all this wealth? And I'll speculate, since he wants to speculate on and put all this BS. I'm guessing that he either comes from wealth, he either has a rich family member or parent, and he doesn't want to tell that he's just some spoiled kid with a whole bunch of money coming from some wealth. That could be it.
Yeah.
Or he did something that you don't want to talk about and he made a bunch of money off it. That's possible. People do that too. Or three, he is some kind of informant and somehow being part of this network pays well.
It's all open to speculation, because with him having no solid identifiable movement, but has this great story of coming from nothing, or coming from a lack of education to still learn how to circumvent the money game. It's like, bro, this is your movement. You should be very eager to tell this story, because it seems like this might be the most impressive thing about you, that this is who you are. And if it never comes up, if it's not the drive behind what it is you're on social media for, you're going to confuse me, especially when you get asked directly and then you divert. Come on. This is simple, basic shit that all these haters are going to try to act like somehow there's no substance in this observation that we're making, but there is, though. Why would he not answer it? He should be eager.
Anybody who watches when he came on the stream and how us went back and forth, I mean, there's no way they're going to come away with the idea that it didn't look above board. He wouldn't answer anything. And then the other thing is, and then he started to like put me down because I'm having to deal with this IRS problem. He's like, I don't even have to worry about that because of how much knowledge I got. Like, I can just circumvent the IRS. I was like, well, tell me about it then. And then he wouldn't share anything. He's like, I got to keep those. What do you say? I got to keep those gems to myself. It's like, so what are you about then? I thought, I'm out here putting out all that I know to try to help humanity. What are you putting out that actually helps the world? Your talking points each day, because if you guys don't know yet, right? The Matrix, he drives around and says the same things every day. Fructose isn't sugar. Weed is bad. I never smoke weed. Babbles about things that just don't even make sense. Graphene oxide starting fires now. Just shit that doesn't make sense. And again, the reason I feel bad about this is because I've recognized this about him, but at the same time, I'm like, this community doesn't have enough people that are down for the cause that come out and pound payment. But now I'm starting to realize, like, man, I think some of the people that are coming out actually are some kind of just like network keeping tabs on us and meant to ultimately instigate, like what happened to you in Austin. And because Angel was messing up your experience, she was messing up my experience in Buffalo, and I didn't even want her there. And then she came out and created all kinds of drama in New York City. And I also asked her to not come out for that. And every night, her and Yeah Right collaborate. They go and do something. And I don't think it's sexual. I feel like it's some kind of business meeting. That's always the vibe I got. And so, yeah, I think some of these people around are bad actors. And essentially, they're here to do exactly what they're now doing, creating drama and rumors and nonsense. I mean, Yeah Right just literally did a stream saying that he found some website that says I make over $1 billion a year. I mean,
where is it then? Where's this website then? Where is it?
he was showing it, but I was like, yeah, what is this website? Like, what? Did somebody just make this? I mean, there's no hard evidence here. There's no documents. It's just like written sentences on a web page. So
Strange.
it's just corny, man. And it's like this morning I'm getting up and doing a stream, and I do streams in the morning. I mean, it was a huge news stories this morning with Israel and Hamas, and I just predicted on October 4th that something big was going to go down on October 7th. So of course I'm on top of it right away. And then this morning he's making up a video about how I'm up extra early trying to like just talking all kinds of shit, man. It's like you are literally just talking bullshit right now. And again, that's what it always is for my detractors. I've never heard any of my detractors say anything real. I just heard you talking about how they were saying I was racist. That's what Wise has been doing since 2016, spreading the rumor that I'm racist. It's like, how am I racist? I like spend half my time sticking up for darker complected people, and now the media shames them. When I go out and pound payment, we got mostly darker complected people coming out. Like, people don't know me as a racist. That guy's just a jealous hater and just like turns everything into the opposites. I think that's the real reason his name is 1984, because that's a big premise in 1984. Orwellian. The whole idea of Orwellian is to say something, phrase something, but then do the exact opposite. And that's like what he is. So
when I was over there talking to them, they are slinging mud, saying some things about you, and I said very clearly to them that if you were actually guilty of some of this extreme shit that they was talking about, that I would just separate myself from you too, because nobody gets a fucking break. I wasn't coming there to try to support you specifically. I want to know what the truth was so I could see what was happening, and that's all I cared about. And every single time I try to get on them about, be clear, what is you trying to say about Zach, and then be thorough, so that when you say you want me to understand, that I actually understand you. Make me understand. And every time I did that, just somebody would go, oh, he's racist, wait until you hear this, and they just quick want to be like, get this black man on the fucking racial thing so he can think that Zach is racist, but they would not address the other shit.
Here's what they'll always play. They got the sound clip from like 2016 of when I called Willie D a coon, and you have to watch the full video though, not the sound clip, because I showed how Willie D has these song lyrics where he's saying like a sellout is a coon. And what he was doing in the video that I was critiquing is he was taking a mainstream media story which shames a black man, and it was another one of these like everything's coded 42 in the story, and he was treating it like it was real. And I was like, see, he's just helping syndicate the bullshit propaganda. And here he is with his song about if you're a sellout, you're a coon. So I said, he's the motherfucking coon. That wasn't said in a racist context. It was said in his terminology, putting it back on him as I'm exposing again the way they code the same numbers over and over in the propaganda. Nobody who's following my work and knows what I'm about thought that was racist. But the trolls, they want to take that soundbite, just like how the news media does, just cut it down to nothing, and then just play that part over and over and see like, oh, see, Zach calls black people coons. It's like, okay, that's not the truth. I don't call black people coons. That was a special exception using Willie D based on, what his resume was about. So, and that's the stuff they do, and it's just bullshit, man. I mean, they're using the same tactics that the propagandists use every night on the nightly news by just showing you sound bites.
Yep. That's the same shit I had just said on my live stream. I was like, y'all using the same tactics as the news thing with this racial divide shit that y'all just kind of throw out there when it's not even warranted for you to feel so strongly that this is a racial thing. And if the cool thing
here's another guy in the chat. He says you call black people N. Now, what's true is when I started the channel and there wasn't as much censorship, when I'd be going through the 42 list, I'd read them all out. I'd say slavery 42, Jackie 42, Tuskegee 42, Martin 42, Malcolm 42. I'd say the actual word, so you know exactly what I mean. This word equals 42. See, then they'll cut that too, and they'll just have the clip of me saying the word, and then they'll be like, see? It's like, these people are a fucking joke. That wasn't sending any racist contact. That was showing how all of these words equal 42. So for the troll in the chat, either you're a fucking moron or you're a troll, but regardless, you should shut the fuck up. I'm not racist. Never been racist. I have the same programming in me that other people, like when I've had RFG chosen ones start coming at me with all this racist bullshit and trying to call me cracker and all this, I'll say things back to him that I probably shouldn't say, but that's just playing the game he's playing. That doesn't make me a racist. I mean, these people are clowns. So.
What people say out of anger or desperation can't be something that you hold them accountable for if they would not say this in a time of when they're at peace. I never heard anything that you have said to me or about black people as much as you addressed this shit in your decoding that you were saying that black people were inferior to white people because they're black. I've
Yeah,
never heard you
no,
say some shit that made me think that that's what you were saying. Not one time ever.
no,
To
and
call
in fact, you could find a lot of clips of me saying maybe the exact opposite.
the
You know,
opposite. I've heard you say before that you think that black people tend to be more open-minded enough to give the idea of gematria a chance.
I've said a lot of things that are very complimentary of black people. I've said, listen, man, there's a reason that black people are the most influential people in the world.
Yeah,
There's a reason for that.
yeah.
There's a lot of talent in there. There's a lot of charisma. There's so you know, I've always given everybody their props, but I mean to try and make me out like some racist, it's just a joke, and that's why that wise guy's a joke. He's not about anything productive. He's probably on some little payroll too, just always instigating and starting shit. And anytime something positive's coming, he's got to be right there to try and burn it down. That's who he is.
Yeah, he sure as fuck tried to insult me after saying that I was a stranger to him and he didn't really know me much. He sure made a judgment on my intelligence, saying that I wasn't on his level. But actually, I could tell by all of his deflecting tactics and how pitiful they were that he's actually a fucking moron to think that I would be dumb enough to allow him to pass that over me like I wouldn't recognize what the fuck it was that he was doing. Totally
He's
deflecting.
well researched in demons. He knows a lot about demonology. That's his field of expertise. He knows all about demons, and he is a demon. So
Yeah, he's a evil pussy. He's a punk. He's a bitch. Anything he said, I'm just like, boy, you was talking like real fast and real hard about absolutely nothing. Everything he said had no substance. I was like, you trying to explain to me how smart you are, and I don't see no point or no substance in what you're saying.
exactly. That's what I always say back to him too. When him and I have debated in the past, I say, okay, that's great. You know all this. What can I do with this? What can I do with any of this information?
He wasn't even saying shit to me that I either he might have said one or two things where I was like, yo, if that's true, that's kind of interesting when he was just kind of going on, but it was still a deflection because he wasn't getting to the point of why I should be convinced that a white man named Zach that I'm cool with is actually a closet racist and I should have been able to recognize this. By what, man? Tell me the fucking story. And nobody would just fucking tell the fucking story.
The truth is, I think at the end of the day, I think he's a little bit racist. I think something that bothers him about me is that, you know, like darker complected people resonate with me and my work. I think that bothers him legitimately.
Yeah, I bet it
So
does. I bet I wouldn't be surprised if it does. Who knows, man? The speculation is just wide open when people talk real hard and heavy, and then they have no substance to back up who the fuck they say they are or what the fuck they got going on. It was a whole bunch of nothing that's going on in that fucking live stream, bro. It was driving me nuts being quiet. This motherfucker said that, oh Trey, you talked enough. You kind of talked a lot, so you should. And he kind of shut me up like that when I was trying to tell him that I hadn't finished asking my question. So his answer would not suffice because he don't even know what I'm trying to say. Please let me finish my question. Every time I did that, man, he shut me up and then he told me I was talking too much anyway, blah, blah, blah. He just talked over me. I was quiet, didn't say a fucking word for like 20 minutes, Zach. 20 minutes. I'm like, I'm going to give y'all this piece and I'll come back to it. I don't want to be Bogart in the situation or make y'all feel that I'm being too aggressive. And by the end of it, my battery was almost dead and they ain't let me talk. And I felt like they were doing this shit on purpose. I just spazzed out, bro. I just got mad. Then like, man, y'all some bitches. Y'all see what y'all just did to me?
right, because that's what happens when you get provoked. So
Yeah.
yeah, and that's what they do.
Man,
But
they
yeah,
they
I
some
mean, just again, my advice is to just ignore the drama as much as possible.
yeah.
And it's like that's why I'm not even going on their videos. What do I need to go on your video for? You came on yesterday, you couldn't answer any questions, and then you got. Here's the other weird thing the weirdest thing that Yeah Right did after he got like essentially embarrassed coming on my stream and having to dodge everything. He sent me a Cash App for $201 after that, and he's never sent that much money. And 201, I was like, what is the meaning of this? Like, is this supposed to be like a threat? Like, I don't even know how to interpret this right here. But
Yeah.
then since then, he's done like 8 hours of live streams, just spreading nothing but bullshit and rumors and not even making sense. And he must be angry or triggered because, like, the first live stream he did that went on for over 3 hours, you can hear my voice talking in the beginning, and you can clearly hear me say, I don't think Yeah Right is a Fed. I give him the benefit of the doubt. I still think he's an all right guy. And then he's going on like, what the fuck is this? I'm a Fed now? How dumb is that? And I was like, I just said I don't think you're a Fed. How are you gonna? And then I only watched like the first few minutes of the stream, but I noticed the stream's over 3 hours, and apparently through the whole thing he was ranting about how I called him a Fed. I told the story of how somebody told me he was a Fed. I didn't say you're a Fed. You might be. You might be. If he's the only Fed that I don't know, man. Again, the guy can't even write a sentence. So can he really be a Fed? Those federal tests, they're pretty well. The one qualification he'd have for a Fed is he's never smoked weed. That's what Feds like. They like dudes who've never smoked any weed, never done any drugs. That's a big thing to be a Fed. Man, you can be a shoo-in for a Fed if you just have the cleanest, resume in that regard. And I guess that's where he could pass. But yeah, do you know who his buddy Truth Virus is?
Nah, I don't really know him.
So he put out a video about this drama too, and man, it just like I don't want to start speculating, but I like Truth Virus. I was so disappointed listening to this video though. As I listened to it, I was like, doesn't he realize how bad he's making himself look? I'm gonna play this video later and respond to it. But he's in Detroit, right? And as I drove through the nation last year, as I went through the nation, I went city to city. And I let him know in advance I was going to be in Detroit. And I was hoping he would come out because I've always wanted to meet him. He never puts his face on the screen, so you don't know who he is, and he doesn't put his name out there either.
Yeah.
And I don't even think he knows Wright's real name either, because when they correspond back and forth, they're just talking to each other in their stage names. But anyway, when I got to Detroit, apparently he couldn't come out because he had to work, and he didn't relay the message to me. Wright actually told me that he couldn't come out. Wright let me know he wasn't going to be able to come out because of work. And anyway, in this response video, he says he texted me a whole bunch of times. And anyway, but I'm just thinking back about that too. I'm like, okay, it was Wright who let me know he wasn't going to make it out to Detroit. And now he's got a video out right away. Again, I mean, this guy right here has been following my work the whole time too. In the 10 years I've been here, he's never made a video with my name in the title, like helping share my work. So this is like the kind of thing I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about the first time you're going to make a video in 10 years with my name, you're going to make it like some kind of derogatory video. And like, really, who's going to, like, I don't know how any honest, sincere person could be siding with Wright between our little thing right now. I don't know how anyone could possibly take his side. I mean, he couldn't answer anything. He dodged every single question, and he couldn't even tell us his name. How suspect is that? I mean, seriously, that all of that is super suspect.
Or how he can afford, the lifestyle that he has. You just ask him, yo, you made some leaps and bounds. You overcome some shit. How you do that? Why you so scared to say it? You won't say it? That seemed crazy to me. Just tell the fucking story, bro. God damn.
So you're right, and exactly, and the fact that he's not willing to tell the story means that there's something that's not authentic. And is the whole story, did you really come from the hood? Maybe he's not really from the hood. Maybe he came from a really wealthy neighborhood. Maybe he's always been wealthy, So
yeah,
could have been born into it. Maybe he's got a parent in show business or something. You just don't know. But one way or another, the man is wealthy. And yeah, I was just trying to say, that's the thing. I've been asking him for years. For years, I've been saying, hey, right, man, do a video about how you overcame and built up this wealth and have achieved this for your children and your family. And what he always says back to me is like, I'm going to do that video. This has been going on for 3 years. He's never done that video. He'll babble on about the same nonsensical shit that doesn't help anybody out, but will never talk about apparently the amazing things and it's like, why wouldn't you want to share that? What's the advantage of not sharing it?
That would be his whole movement. It seemed like that would make sense for him to say, I know how you can gain some financial freedom in this sick ass fucking world by playing along with their game. Don't try to beat them. Join them like this. This motherfucker even said the IRS is your best friend, or the IRS is your friend, or some shit like that. He said that on your stream. It's like the IRS is your friend. I was like, say word? Oh, you bugging, boy. Get the fuck out of here.
I was like, that kind of like fits into the whole Fed thing, man, what you just said.
Yeah. No gov love over here, bro. Anything you say like that gonna sound suspect to me. That shit sounds stupid. It sounds dumb. He's crazy.
But yeah, right. Don't get sucked into all their drama, Trey. Because look, man, it's just got you up and it gave you a headache, and that's kind of what I was trying to tell you earlier too when we were texting. I was like,
You did tell me that don't worry about it so much, but I was bugging out because I liked him and I liked you, and with y'all not getting along and me not knowing what was going on, I want to fucking know what happened,
well, didn't
even
you
if
go
it's
back and
just to
listen to
be.
our conversation? Look, think about it. So he brought this guy into the community who for the last, like literally for the last 6 months, I don't know if you know this, but he's doing about an average of probably 8 to 10 hours of streaming every day about me, and he's just saying like over and over the same phrases, almost like it's a spell.
Yeah,
He's saying Gematria is a sky car. Buy, sell, Gematria sky car. Zachary Quackery, curses on you and your family.
yeah,
Die, bitch, curses on you and your family. He's just doing streams like this and just saying things like this all day, over and over. It's crazy. I mean, it's like I've never seen such mental illness. It's like, man,
yeah.
just over and over, bro. And I didn't even do anything to this guy. This guy met a girl in the community. They hooked up one time, and then that was it. And his heart's broken, and now he hates me for it. And I'm like, how's this my fault?
Yeah.
How's this my fault, man?
Yeah.
But it doesn't make sense. But he came to the community through, yeah, right. And he's another guy, actually. Somebody gave him the camera last year in New York while Rambo was out on the street preaching, and everybody wanted to hear Rambo. And somebody handed him the camera, and he ran off away from the Rambo the opposite direction and just like babbling nonsense. It's like, what? How are you in the like? People who've been around who actually care about this work, they know that Rambo, what he teaches is great. And to see him out on the street speaking, like this is a great moment to film. Somebody handed him the camera and he ran away. It didn't capture. And it's just like, how is this even possible? Like, where did this guy come from?
Yeah,
So these
like
are people who don't even need to ultimately be here. They're not any real loss to the community. And I saw that for the whole time. That Truth Vibration podcast, him and his friend do supposedly a comedy sketch, but it's like they're 30 some years old and their humor levels like on tier with probably like a fifth grader or something. It's like this isn't funny to any adults. It's like if you guys were still in elementary school. And it's like they're just making us look bad too. I just realized all these like questionable people have been around here who don't bring anything to the table but are always active and kind of just make us all look dumb by association. So
yeah,
I don't mind losing any of these people, and essentially that's what I think is good about right now. Is it's just like we're clearing out the clutter, the people who don't need to be here, and we're also laying down like, look, there'll probably be another group of like little informant types and instigators that come around, but you know what to look for now. Like the signs are if you're really part of the community, you're contributing something.
yeah,
You're well spoken. You have a message. You're doing something unique. You're not just like hanging around.
yeah.
What
You got
wouldn't
your
yeah right ever like he'd be in the chat because he'd say like peace and love everyone, but like like that's all it was. I'm here, peace and love everyone. And is he
yeah.
really peace and love? No, we see he's not peace and love because what happened? What did I do? Hey, in the conversation where him and I were talking, did I like really do him wrong in any way?
Um, the only time I thought I heard something that I kind of agree with him about that I feel like kind of gets lost, not just in the gematria community, but in the truth seeking community in general, is that when people don't get along, no one tries hard to find the fundamental ideas behind what we got going on so we can come to some level of agreement to find that common ground. For example, no matter what somebody thinks about gematria, whether they like it or not, or how they feel about politics, Democrat, Republican, or anarchist, it doesn't matter. What we all tend to really know is that the system is trying to do something to us, and they might be successful in doing that to us. They need to divide and conquer because that shit works, and maybe we should just agree that they need to get the fuck out of here so we can figure this out for ourselves. That I think a lot of us, almost all of us, can agree on, but we never actually hang on that. And I think I heard, yeah, right, the Matrix actually tried to point to the division and why can't we just agree that he was trying to say something like what I just said. And I think not only did you like cut him off, but he didn't go back to it. And it all just kind of got muddled. And I went, yeah, say that. Yeah, right. Say that part. If you mean that, let's say that and let's hang on that. But he never fully said it, but I think he might have been trying to say that. And other than that, I didn't understand nothing else he was talking about. But I felt like
Yeah.
he was trying to say that.
And here's why I was already fed up with him. It was because the night before, he wanted me to come on his stream, and then he wanted to bring Cuts on there too, who's the weirdo guy who's just talking to himself in his car,
Yeah.
just nonstop, 10 hours a day with my name, just slandering. And Again, this is the guy he's been texting me at night about this guy's streams I don't even want to know about. Just like how much it's depressing and how much of a weirdo he is, and clearly he's mentally ill. So when we're both on there, you know, Cuts is saying all this weird stuff, and then he brings up how Mighty Networks, again, Mighty Networks is what we moved our platform for Free to Find Truth over to about a year ago. And the reason we went to Mighty Networks is because it's a really good platform and it's censorship free. That's their pledge, that they will not censor no matter what. That was the bottom line for me. It works, and they're not going to censor. And the one thing that the guy did, to give Cuts credit for his research, because he's trying to figure out something bad about me, he found out that the person who created Mighty Networks, this woman, she trained under a man named Mark Andreessen, who's big in the tech world and who was on the CIA board with Mike Pompeo. He found all this stuff and he said, see, Zach's CIA. And I'm saying, well, wait a minute. Anybody can sign up for the Mighty Networks platform. I didn't realize that she trained. But see, now we're making connections because it's like, okay, she's not him. She has no connection to the CIA. She worked at one of his enterprises, which was not CIA. It was a Silicon Valley tech company. So we know big tech and government are connected. We know this stuff's there. To now be like forming the, oh, Zach's CIA because of this. I mean, now we're just connecting dots. It's bullshit. And are they data mining on Mighty Networks? I don't know. Pretty much, probably everything on big tech's data mining. But again, I'm not living in fear over here. It's a free platform to use. It works. You could social network. They're not censoring us. It's doing exactly what we want. That's the point. If people don't want to use the program because they're worried about that, you might as well get off YouTube and Twitter because these things are definitely CIA.
Yeah.
So it's just like to make that argument to say, oh, you're on YouTube, so you're CIA. Oh, you're on Twitter, you're CIA. I mean, this is stupid. So these are illogical thoughts. These are bunk arguments that are easily debunked. But what Right started to do in that stream is he wasn't even acknowledging like Cuts saying all of his weirdo shit. He wasn't like saying what he says to me. He's not like, Cuts, that's really been depressing me and you sound weird and you should stop that. He didn't say that. Instead, he started to entertain Cuts. He's like, oh, that's really interesting about Mighty Networks. I'm going to have to look into that. And I was like, you know what? I need to get the fuck off this stream, man, because I got to do it. I want to do the stream on Dick Buttkiss, which is actually something that can wake some people up. So I got off there, and something like this happened about 6 months ago on a Right stream. He asked me to come on, and then he brought on some guy who I didn't even know who he was, but the guy comes on and starts talking all this shit about me. And I said to Right, I was like, who is this guy? And why didn't you just kick him off your stream? He's like, oh, I don't kick people off. So I was like, so you asked me to come on, and then you bring this guy on who's just like talking all this shit to me and just saying all the things that all my trolls say all the time. And he was just sitting there like, well, Zach, I mean, you could work on your personality a little bit. It's like, yeah, no shit. But what anyway, there's just been little things bugging me about him. And then what the guy told me in Oklahoma City about him being a Fed, and he was so certain and I needed to watch my back.
What made Emory so sure? Why would he be so sure about Right the Matrix though?
Well, see, my honest thought at the time was, well, maybe he's the Fed. I was like, he's
Emory?
Alex Jones, and I didn't know if he was just trying to instigate. He was waiting in Oklahoma City when I got there and introduced himself and started chatting up with me, and then told me he's going to give me a whole tour of the place. I mean, he was really cool, and he came on and did an interview with TFR. But for whatever reason, he also wanted to let me know that Right was a Fed, and he was absolutely certain about it. And I was just weirded out by the whole thing. I mean, Oklahoma City was just so weird to me, the whole thing, getting there and getting hands-on from the security guards and the one guy following me around and handing me the threats. And then I get back to my car at the hotel, and they found that and put this thing in there and keyed the hood. I mean, the whole thing was like a headache of an experience. And ultimately, when I just look at all this, I think, why is this happening? Okay. I'm trying to go out to places where really bad shit has happened in this country and expose it and say, here's the real truth. Here's really behind what happened on this day. Here's the entity that's actually messing with us and trying to bring people together. There's people that don't want that to happen.
Yeah.
So they send out their little informants and their instigators, and then you just see how it is. I mean, ever since I went out to Oklahoma City, so much needless drama has been created in this community. And like so many rumors. And that's part of the reason a lot of people have fallen off. I'm trying to do the right thing. And then people are hearing through the grapevine and believing this and hearing from this person. And, oh, I liked Angel. I actually like Angel more than Zach. It's just like, okay, whatever. You can like whoever you want. But like, what is Angel doing at the end of the day? Is she doing anything? I mean, Again, I don't expect logical people in our society because I've lived here long enough to know that people aren't logical or very intelligent.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, it's just I'm not going to quit pounding payment and going out and trying to bring people together. But people need to wise up and recognize that this is part of the game. There's going to be people that come and try to be your friend, and they're really not. They're here for
Yeah.
some ulterior motive, and that's the point about yeah, right. I didn't do anything that dirty. Like even though you're like, oh well, maybe some. There wasn't anything I did that bad to yeah, right. I didn't try to slander him or anything. I asked him questions that made him uncomfortable, and just let him know that Chris Emery said he was a Fed, and some things are starting to look suspect because they are.
Yeah.
And then what did he do? He sends me a $201 Cash App, which doesn't really make sense, and then goes on and does a 3-hour stream talking nothing but bullshit, followed up with another hour stream talking even more bullshit with nothing behind it, and then does another 4.5-hour stream with even more bullshit with nothing behind it. So he's literally trying to slander and undermine me with garbage and stuff that I know he knows is bullshit. Have I tried to do that to him? I haven't made any false allegations against him. I just pointed out facts.
Yeah, or just repeating some shit that you heard from somebody, and you just trying to touch bases with him about why the fuck it actually looks like that. Though there's nothing wrong with that at all. And if you ever thought that your wife was cheating on you, you're gonna address that shit and not worry about offending her, because she should respect the fact that you got some curiosities that you need answered. And if your wife responded to you the same way, yeah, right, the Matrix did, you would know that bitch was cheating. He was unconvincing. He didn't convince me of nothing. It was a whole bunch of bullshit he was talking. I was like, bro, you did not clear nothing up with that, man. You just made yourself look worse. You was better off not fucking showing up to even discuss this shit.
Exactly, and that's what he's. I mean, I haven't been watching much of his streams, but just in the little clips I've seen, he's just on there talking nothing but shit, and it's making him look dumb. So,
It's
and for anyone who can't see that, I just got to say, I already know what your problem is: low intellect, low IQ. That's all there is to say about it. So,
I listened to his live stream this morning. It was like 9 o'clock. It was like 8 something. I was listening to him, message him in the chat saying, man, I can't tell what's going on, man. This is confusing, and I'm kind of like bugging about like you and Zach not getting along, and I missed whatever y'all had going on in Zach's video. I need to catch up because this is crazy to me. I'll get at you later. But I listened to him for like 45 minutes, and he never got to the point. I was like, you waiting for your viewer count to go up for 45 minutes? Nigga, get to the point. What the fuck happened? And he never said nothing the whole time I was listening this morning. I had to get back to him later, bro. Like it was
well,
just
the other thing that's funny too is so this morning in my video, because he was watching my video obviously, and then he went live. I talked about how the headline for the CNN had a headline up this morning for Hamas that Hamas said like "got yourself a gun." I was like, "What is this? A Nas tribute?"
Yeah.
So anyway, I saw the beginning of his video where he's playing Nas "Got Yourself a Gun," and I mean the song's about beef. He just put out the first video he put out about me is that he's not going to enter in any beef. The next thing you know, he's beefing super hard. So it's like you're a corny dude, man. You can't even like. Here's what you were yesterday. Here's what you are today. And I mean, the guy's been through a lot of divorces too. Again, to me that says something about a person too, man. When you've been through several different marriages, that tells me something about you. You can't hold down your relationships, and usually the reason relationships fall apart is because there's an honesty problem. And I see that he's just not a sincere man. He used to have his woman always rocking with him in his live stream. She just bounced out of nowhere all of a sudden, and I wonder why that is. She left at such a crucial moment too. Maybe she knew that. Maybe she knows what he's really about. Enough was enough. She's like, can't be with this fraudulent man. So no, I'll never rock with yeah right again. It's done. I mean, he just showed me what he is. He's a clown. And you know what? When I first got on the scene, he was a clown back then with Wise. They were both clowns. But yeah right came around, and then he became a supporter of the work. But now I don't think he was ever really a supporter. I think he was just trying to get close, only to cause problems down the road. And here they came. So no, I want people around me like you, Trey, because you're actually about something. You have a message, you go out and do something.
Yeah.
When yeah right's out there, he doesn't do anything. He stands around. That's all yeah right does when he comes out. I appreciate you're there. It's a body. Makes us look like more of a community. And that's the thing too, how wacky he is. I heard what he was saying at the beginning of the stream. He always has said before that when he comes out, that I bring out the most amazing group of people, the most beautiful group of people, the best energy. Now today he was all talking shit about it. So I'm like, so what's real about this guy?
Man, The contradicting bullshit that if you point it out and ask for an explanation, he'll act like you ain't say shit.
Yeah, you can.
He want
I've
to
been here
dress.
for 10 years. I got 10,000 hours of video online from all the streaming I done. I don't do contradictions. You can go through all of it. I'm not contradicting myself, and I'm not. I'm not trying to go out and ransack people and sabotage them with a whole bunch of bullshit. I never done that. I'll call you out for things that you tried to do to me. That's it.
And I'm an adult. I'm a grown ass man. I wouldn't even hold it against you if you did make some kind of contradiction. Because number one, out of 10 years, you might change your own perspective about how you think about something. That might look like a contradiction to somebody who want to nitpick at your shit. But even then, there's almost nothing you could really do that will make me discredit Gematria as a whole. Because you could be an asshole. Everything that they say about you could be absolutely true. And I'll go, well, I'll take my understanding and recognition of Gematria and just leave this fucking place and never say anything to Zach again. And I'll leave with the fact that Gematria is some spooky shit that I need to be paying attention to. They said, fuck you and Gematria. They started talking shit like Gematria. You can lay that shit over anything. You can make anything look like anything. I go, where the fuck did that come from, bro?
Here. Let's just make a point. I heard him at the beginning of his stream talking shit about Gematria Sports. This is literally the last text message the Matrix ever sent me. Look, this is from Thursday Night Football. Here's his text message. He won. Can I make this bigger? It's easier to see on my phone. If you look, he wagered $700 and made $2,170 on this slip, and he wagered 47 and made 220 here. And again, he's always been, saying like, thanks again for the information, man. Another big killing night over here. He's always been super complimentary, but see, then I questioned him on some things, and now he's just going to go on and just tell the exact opposite. I mean, that's not a credible human being. That's a fraud. He's calling me a fraud. These are literally the last text message I have from me right in my phone. Thanks for the dick butt kiss news. As always, above all, the work speaks for itself. Okay. 24 hours later, now he's online saying that it's a scam and a fraud. Okay. And again, just understand, you guys, this is how all my trolls are. All they are is shit talking, lying frauds, trying to scam me, trying to project onto me what they are. So,
yeah, man, it's crazy, man. What a damn shame. It's spooking me out, really, like how serious it could actually be that truth-seeking groups all over this country could be infiltrated by people who are sent there by unseen forces for them to meddle and shit. And that's kind of weird to me. And me and my cousin kind of feel like that, especially after Austin, Texas. And we say, you know what? Never again will we ask anybody to gun up.
Just trust your instincts.
Yeah.
Just trust your instincts. Because like you said, you didn't want to do that. She was pressuring you to go on the grounds. You were getting pressured into do that. You did not do that.
Specifically that, because she even told me after all of that shit happened in that way, she says, you're the one that does this all the time. You know better. Why did you say something? And I'm going, I tried to say something, and the fact that you think that I know better than you doesn't explain the fact why you kept pressuring me to do this and you kept leading everybody in there. And then once I got inside, your next step was, let's get closer to the building. And she literally said closer to the building, which seems strange to me. How about we just go do whatever we're trying to do, but you stay closer to the building, which is a strange choice of words. All of this shit just sounds funny to me, bro. It's just weird, man. It's weird. And haters will have to explain this instead of saying, I made a pass at her and got denied. That's some dumbass shit. All this other shit will have to not be true, you jackass.
Yeah, it is, man. But that's the other thing they do, right? They instead of like actually dealing with what needs to be dealt with, they just start creating new things and trying to distract and make it about your character. That's what all of my trolls do. They try to attack me, and it's just like, listen, all I'm really here for is to teach the information I'm teaching, to wake people up to how we're all being lied to and steered down this terrible path. And I haven't been wrong about that. And it's amazing that more people don't care. But at the end of the day, I know what's going on in this world. Everyone is controlled by money, almost everyone. And you can pay people to literally do shitty things. A lot of people do shitty things at their job. You can pay somebody to harass somebody. People are harassing people for a living. People are murdering people for a living. That's essentially what soldiers are doing.
Yeah.
And, it's the world we live in. And some of us are trying to rise above it, but not enough. And it's not going to take me off my path. And again, I'm not afraid of these people. I know how they are. They're goofy. They just, they're not going to kill you, but they're going to try to mess with you. They might come out and try to ruin your parade, but They're not anything to be afraid of. Just they're going to be a nuisance, though. You're going to be annoyed. Be prepared for that. But
Yeah, they got on my ass quick. As soon as I started talking shit over there, somebody actually put in the fucking comments, uh, Trey is the plant. And I'm going, the plant? Motherfucker, as far as I know, this is like a fucking game of solipsism. To me, I might be the only real
you're the
motherfucker
one
out
guy
of
who's
all of
not
you.
the plant. It's a whole room full of plants.
Yeah,
You're
that's
the one
weird to
who's
me.
not.
To be called that when I know I'm a regular ass dude, bro. I'm a regular ass dude, bro. A plant based off of what? You don't even know what you were based it off of. You just kind of saying that. Like y'all are some weirdos, bro. They some weirdos, man. That shit crazy, man. It's and to me, it just justify everything that I got to say after the fact. When you see somebody make this weird attempt to throw ad hominem at you that they getting from nowhere, that's when you can point right at that motherfucker and go, "Oh, you the plant, you the fucking weirdo," because you don't even know what would make you even say that. You just kind of saying that to throw it out there. You don't even know what would make you say that.
Exactly. Exactly. I saw right in his chat like get a call for an uprising to share this video. I'm like, oh my god. I know there's he's a major troll, that guy. Another guy just you don't know who his name is. He's faceless. But it's
Yeah.
getting late, Trey. Before I wrap this up, I want to play this truth virus video to
Okay.
just to make the point about people who might be part of this truth community, but at the end of the day, they aren't really about nothing. And I want you to hear in his own words how bad he exposes himself. And it makes me sad because I've always liked Truth Virus, but when I listen to this, I'm like, doesn't he realize how bad this makes him look? So I don't know if you want to hang out while I play his video.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
The only problem is, so I have to change the audio setting on here so that we can hear his video. If you talk while it's on that audio setting, it makes you have an echo. So
Okay.
if you want to say something like signal me with a piece, and I'll change the audio so that people can hear what you're saying.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Because I have to flip it back and forth. So I'm gonna flip it now to this thing where you're not gonna sound good, but just so we can hear his video. His
Okay.
video is about 10 minutes. I'm gonna play all of it, but I'm gonna pause in parts. So this is Truth Virus. If you don't know Truth Virus, he's a funny guy and he does speak out about what's wrong in the world. But here I heard in his video that he isn't really about nothing. Watch this. Here we go.
What's up?
And actually, also notice that I left this comment. This is how I like. This is as much as I want to get involved with the bullshit that Right's doing. I left this comment in his video under the comment that Truth Virus left. So this is in the comment thread of Right's thing, just talking a whole bunch of nonsense and bullshit about me. Truth Virus responds, I just gave you your 33rd thumbs up. Now you're just a Fed, but you're also Freemason confirmed. Laugh my ass off. Peace and love to you and all the lil Rights, because that's the only name anybody knows him by. But again, right in the beginning of his video, you can actually hear my voice and me saying, I don't think he's a Fed. You can hear me say it clear as day, and then he's making a whole video about how I falsely accused him of being a Fed. So it's like, man, did you even hear the beginning part of your video? Like, how bad is this? So anyway, I just dropped by and I said, who said he was a Fed? At 2 minutes and change in the video, you can hear me say, I don't think he is a Fed. And Truth Virus, thanks for coming out in Detroit. And again, I left that message because Truth Virus, he talks about how we need to revolt against this tyrannical system that's made us all slaves. And I mean, obviously the revolution wasn't going to happen that day, but hey, come out and meet the other people in Detroit in your community who are about it. And he doesn't show up. And I want you to hear what he had to say about why he didn't show up. And then I just want you to think about why even complain about life if this is actually your mentality at the end of the day. And also keep in mind, I found out he wasn't going to come out through the Matrix, who texted me to let me know. And again, I just wonder if it's all just part of this network of fakers, if you will. But here we go. Listen to Truth Virus. This is so disappointing.
What's up, everybody? Currently sitting in one of my spirit brothers' slave wagons here in the slave lot at the slave job, because you have to wait a few hours to clock in, because my slave wagon is still broke down. Because after I pay my Rothschild rent and all the bullshit bills I have, I don't really have too many shekels left to fucking put into the truck right now, so it is what it is. But I just wanted to address this this message here from Zach real quick. With his little passive aggressive ending to his message right here. This is on one of Right's.
First of all, there's nothing passive aggressive about it. There's nothing. It's just like a reminder. Hey, thanks for coming out to Detroit.
Videos here. As usual, I'm joking around as usual because I like to make people laugh. I like to put smiles on people's faces because smiles raise vibrations and raises frequency. That's why I have my comedic style when I present my information on my videos. But I left a thumbs up on this video and it happened to be the 33rd thumbs up. So I told, I just gave you your 33rd thumbs up. So now you're not just a Fed, but you're also a Freemason confirmed, right? Just joking around as usual. Then this morning, pulled out my tracking device to check out what was going on in the world. Had a little message from Zach here. He said, "Who said he was a Fed?" At 2 minutes and change in the video, you can hear me say, "I don't think he's a Fed." Right said he was a Fed in the title because other people called him a Fed. So I joked around about it, but of course Zach has to take offense to it and think that, it's a shot at him somehow, I guess. And he says, "And Truth Virus, thanks for coming out in Detroit." This little condescending fucking message here.
It's not really condescending. I mean, honestly, the way I see it is, you knew I was coming out. I'm driving all the way across the states. He made it seem like he was going to be there and then doesn't show up. I mean, it's kind of disappointing. I'm in your city. It's just, but here, listen. There's a reason I'm playing this, so you can hear the things he starts to say. It's like, wait a minute, why even speak out about anything if this is your mentality?
I told him, and I responded right now, or 13 minutes ago. Shout out to the Psychopath 13. I was at work being a slave when you were in Detroit, and then I called him, no answer. I texted him and got no response from him. But I guess he think.
For the record, that's not true. I was getting the communication through. I communicate on his YouTube page. We don't have our numbers. He was communicating through the Matrix. The Matrix told me he wasn't coming out.
So I'm supposed to drop what I'm doing. I'm supposed to leave my slave job. I'm supposed to leave my shekels on the table that I used to pay my Rothschild rent and come downtown Detroit to meet this motherfucker so he can rant and rave about the same numbers he's been ranting and raving about for the last fucking decade.
And that's false too. I never said come out just to hear me talk. The point is anybody can speak. Get more people to come out and speak and gather and share their message. That's what it's always been about. And this guy can actually speak and talk about how bullshit things are when he wants to. He would have been great to have out there. So he's making it seem like it's just like following me around just to listen. It's never been that way. But let's continue. And again, you heard what his bottom line is. He complains about slavery, but then he's like, I need to go do my slave job. He's a good willing slave. I mean, you just heard it right there. He's not going to come out for what we're standing out. We're driving across the nation to wake people up to the tyranny in this nation and what's going on and what needs to be stopped. That's not good enough for him. What he needs to do is do his slave job that he resents. Where I come from, that's called a loser. But let's listen. Let's listen more.
Right. Sorry, Zach, I couldn't just drop my life for you, buddy. I apologize, We know you're the king. You're the ruler. You're the god of gematria. You're the man on YouTube. You've always been awake, even as a child, even as a fuck.
See, the thing is, I never had a problem with this guy. I've always been complimentary of him. I've always sent people to his channel. I've always recommended his channel. We never had a problem. So why is he coming at me like this?
Yeah. Newborn baby, you were already awake, right? It's just a fucking joke, man. I'm not calling him a Fed. I'm not calling him this. I'm not calling him that. I couldn't care less. You want to make money selling truth? You want to make money doing this shit to pay your Rothschild rent? By all means, do you. I'm not going to hate on how you do it.
I want you to think about what he's saying, though. He knows damn well, too, the first 5 years I was there, I worked my ass off and never raised a single penny. And I didn't start to raise money until, I had the FBI come into my house and I found out I couldn't get my job back anymore. But what is his attitude? It's bad to figure out a way to put out a message every day to try to wake up humanity and also sustain. It's better to just not go out and do things like this and just work at some slave job that you hate. I mean, where is the logic in anything he's saying? Did you want to say something, Trey?
No, I'm saying there's no law.
Let me get this through this, and then I'll switch the audio setting, and you can say everything. Here we go.
Great. But don't bring me into your beefs. Don't bring me into your little bullshit censored tube, online, hiding behind the fucking keyboard, bullshit, pussy fucking beefs, bro.
Okay. He's making a video addressing me and attacking me. I didn't make a video. All I did was left a comment in his thread with this right here. I mean, listen to what he just said. It's like, wait a minute, isn't that what you're doing? I didn't start the drama with this. This is what I get sick of, man. This is how it's always been. People just always starting shit with me. Who's so provoked about this little comment? Is my comment really that bad? It's just clearing up that, dude, you just made a 3-hour video about me calling you a Fed when that never happened. And how come your Truth Virus, your comment should be back to him like, why are you even starting this beef? Didn't you hear the beginning of your video? He didn't call you a Fed.
Yeah.
Honestly, I couldn't fucking care less if you put a gun to my head and told me I had to care less about your little beef. You would have to pull the trigger because I can't possibly care any less than what I already do.
But you see how people are just full of shit? It's like, why are you making this video then? Why are you making this video then, silly man? Come on.
Yeah.
You know, I got a lot of respect for Zach and the work he's done over the last decade or so, or however long he's been doing this shit. I've known about him since like 2013, 2012, 2013, 2014. That's when I came in contact and came across Zach's channel. Back when we were all fucking exposing all kinds of shit and actually working together back in the day. You know, before all the extreme censorship and
dude, he just I wanted him to come out and work with me and speak out, and put his message out there, and I was like, it's like, dude, what is wrong with people, man? Nothing he is saying is making any sense if you actually have a brain that works. And this is sad because he's a smart guy. He is a smart, funny guy. But this is what happens when you're like made to do things that don't make sense. When you just have to start bullshitting to talk shit, and you don't even really know how to talk shit about the person. Listen to Right trying to talk shit about me. All he's doing is making up stuff that just sounds dumb and unbelievable. I mean, he put out a video this morning saying that he's coming out with a video tonight. 45 minutes of the video's going to be tonight. Checkmate. It's over. It's done. It's over. It's over. And then the video comes out, and he's got some just like, looks like the website was just made in the last 2 hours, just haphazardly. He's like, what is this website that says GematriaEffectNews is in 160 countries and making billions of dollars a year? It's just like, yeah, what is this website? It's obviously full of shit. I mean, who just put this? Anyway, you guys, my critics don't have shit to say that is legitimate about me because I've been here doing something authentic and real and provable and have made my point a million times over in spades. I haven't really done anybody wrong, but people like to create drama with me. I can't tell you how many people I've helped out who've come at me and backstab and then started crying online about the way, I responded after they backstabbed me. It's just, oh my God. Anyway.
Impression of our fucking knowledge and shit. And we gotta dance around their algorithms, dance around their fucking bullshit fucking rules they make up out of their candy asses. He's done a lot of great work. But as a human being, Zach, you got a lot of work to do. You have a lot of knowledge that you've acquired over the years, but as a person, as a human being, you got a lot of work to do, buddy.
I don't disagree with that, but we're listening to a man who hates the slave system, but then won't leave his slave job for one day to come out and stand up and speak a message out in public, and then just totally undermined what I was doing. Oh, it's just like, God. Anyway. However much work I need to do, you need to do 10 times more. Let me tell you that right now.
You know? Taking these little bullshit, just low blow, cheap shot, condescending fucking messages and shit. You can shove that up your fucking candy ass. Like I said, I'm not going to drop everything I'm fucking... And I texted you, I told you want to see some... You like this Jesuit shit so much. And Freemasonic shit, I told you to come meet me at my fucking slave job. You'd have a fucking field day here.
I just want to say, if he was really sending me all these text messages, it's possible maybe he was sending them to the 509 number that I use for call-in shows. When I have that shut off, I don't see those notifications. That's the only way I can possibly think that he was messaging me, because he was not messaging my main phone number. I only got the communication through that he wasn't coming. So he's saying that he sent me all this stuff. I don't know where that was.
All right? At this fucking museum that I'm enslaved at, it's a fucking Freemasonic trophy case. There is Jesuit symbolism all over this motherfucker. Pine cones every fucking where. Eagles and all this shit every fucking where in this bitch. You would have a fucking... You can make a fucking 5-hour video in this motherfucker. On all the shit they got in this motherfucker. You could probably make a 10-hour video in this motherfucker with all the shit they got in here. But again, you didn't respond. You didn't send a text back. You didn't send a call back. Nothing. Right? But again, we're the bad guys. We're all the bad guys. We're all feds. You know, I'm a shill. You know, I got my... Let me find my shill script. Can I find a shill script? Here's my shill script. You hear my shill script right there, motherfucker? You know, Jimmy Jesuit wrote me a script today and shit. Yeah, we're all shills. We're all feds. You're the only real motherfucker out there, right, Zach?
See, like, why does this video even need to exist? He's telling this story of, like, how I ignored all his text messages. That really didn't happen, you guys. I don't have his number. We've never communicated through phone. Unless he was sending a message to the 509 message and I didn't see it. That's the only way it's possible. Again. But, like, why did this video even need to get made? All you've shown is that your slave job's the most important thing in your life. There's no point in your channel existing now, Truth Virus. There's no point in complaining about the system if you're not willing to do anything about it, and all you're going to do is hate on the people who are trying to do something about it. You just said that you had to stay at your apparently like Masonic, Jesuit encoded job, whatever it is, with pine cones all over the place. I don't even know what to think about this. But,
It just blows my mind. It blows my mind how certain people seem to be always dividing and divide and conquer as usual, right? It reminds me of the fucking Jeff C shit from back in the day. When we were all truth bombing, we were all on the same page roughly, right? We were all spreading truth, love, and awareness, using our different sections of expertise. Of course, Zach is all about the numbers and gematria and numerology for the most part. And he's good at it. You know, he's great at it. There are other people that are just as good, if not better than him, though, on this same piece of shit platform. But somehow you think you're the end-all, be-all, and you're the only one to go to.
And right now what he's saying is kind of like, well, nobody was doing it before I got here, and pretty much everyone who's doing it now learned from me. So this doesn't really sound like a genuine remark either, and he knows that that's true. But yeah, anyway.
You know it all, nobody else knows shit, right?
And I never said that either. I did say that my work, though, proves probably more than any other work on this platform, and can anyone prove otherwise?
Again, divide and conquer bullshit, you little beef bullshit. You can save it, you can have it. I don't want shit to do with it.
And notice, you guys, I don't make videos about other people. Usually when I have a problem with people, it's because of a call-in and something that happens in a call-in. But it's not me who then goes and makes a separate video about that. It's somebody else goes out and starts making videos about that and then extends the drama. So I will not accept that I'm a divider. I'll call out people who come at me. That's all I've ever done. I go after the people who attack me. And again, yeah, Right's been doing a lot of suspect stuff. I finally questioned him on things. And again, we all saw how that went. He didn't make himself look good.
Not at all.
I just figured I'd come out here and address this shit since you want to leave your little comments to me, directed at me and shit. I'm gonna make a little video directed at you. You know, and it is what it is. You can fucking do the same shit towards me, talk shit about me. I really don't care. I got a lot more problems in my fucking life than your little weak-ass censor tube beef, to be honest with you. All right? Couldn't, again, put a gun to my head, I couldn't care less. But I figured I'd address the shit, get it off my chest, since I had to read this shit this morning before I gotta be a fucking slave. Other than that, you know, I got respect for everybody that's involved with this situation here. I really ain't got no beefs with nobody. I don't have no beef with Zach either. I just wanted to address this comment here. I don't like that little condescending, you know, thanks for coming out in Detroit shit at the end there.
It really seems like that. I mean, I didn't realize this comment was going to hurt him so bad. I didn't realize this would provoke him so bad. Yeah. But again, to me, the real thing is like, dude, you didn't come out. Like, that's the actual real problem. You should have been out there. You said you would come out when I came out. You're coming up with all these excuses now why you couldn't come out. I mean, this is the problem. That people like you hate the system, but then you won't buck the system for even a day. What does that really say about you? Why complain about the system if you're not willing to do anything about it?
So I figured I'd address that. Like I said, I can't just drop everything to come meet you and listen to the same shit I've been hearing you say for the last decade.
That wasn't the point.
And to meet up with a bunch of fucking Zachalites that follow your ass around like you're the end all be all.
I don't know why he assumed that the people would be like that. Everyone who comes out to our community is super diverse, man. He probably would have met some people he could have been friends with. You know? Find out people right in your community. Maybe you'd be less depressed about life. What kind of shit attitude is this? God. He doesn't have a beef, but he's got nothing but hate. And what's he got hate for? All I've ever done is promote him and give him compliments. I mean, it's just like unreal to me. It's like, who are these people? These people suck.
Yeah.
Like your information is the fucking top tier of information in this motherfucker. Again, your gematria, numerology shit is just one of many ways the engineers of society encode this motherfucker. And it's not even that old and that ancient. This is your gematria is a relatively new fucking way that they encode this shit. And guess what? There's nothing new under Sol. There's nothing new in the new world normal. It's the same old shit. And we're going to continue to be enslaved physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually as long as the flock holds the fucking energy here. So deal with it. All the numbers in the world are going to...
As long as the flock holds the energy here, are you not part of the flock truth virus, whatever your name is? You are the flock, dude. You won't even leave work for a day to stand up for your rights and liberties. You just said it. You just demonized the people who did come out that day. There were people who dropped work that day to come out. You're not willing to make that commitment. You know, and that's why I always say, you guys, I've said before, actually, like if your YouTube personality that you follow is someone who just goes by some name and you don't know who their face is, that shows you that they don't really have that much courage, right? They're like so scared, really. They're so scared. And you don't really want to get behind like fearful, weak people. And that's all I really hear out of here. Projection and bullshit and just illogical thoughts. And it's actually like listening to Yeah Right, the Matrix. He just babbles on and nothing he says really makes sense either. But here we
Free
go.
nobody from shit. I think I got enough off my chest today. Again, I don't have no beef with nobody on this motherfucking platform. I couldn't care less. Like I said, I got more problems in my fucking personal life than to deal with some CensorTube beef. You know, it is what it is.
Yet this video exists.
Just keep sharing your information, making your shekels, sell whatever the fuck you gotta sell, do your thing, do you. Just leave my name out of it, leave my channel out of it. I don't want shit to do with it. I don't care. I share what I share. I speak my truth from my heart. You can either accept it or leave it. I don't care. Take my truth nuggets and leave the rest behind like with everybody else. As always, do your own research into everything. Come up to your own conclusions. Go within your hearts and create your own thoughts.
Another thing that he said there that's also false is there's no such thing as my truth. That's a false thing. There's no your truth. There's truth, and there's things that are not true. So here, let me switch the audio setting, and I mean, did his video not just seem like just a bunch of contradictions?
Yeah, it did. A lot of it seemed like really, because for him to give you the information that he out there, and then for you to find out that it won't be, you could, as a gentleman, express some disappointment that you will be and that he happened to not be. And for him to take that in that way, to go as far as he did, when people start like being like super insulting, not just to you, but to the whole fucking idea of it, when he go, you're gematria and blah, blah, blah. It's like, now he dissing the whole shit. Like I was just saying before you played the video, there's nothing you could do where me and you would have a falling out, where I would say, fuck Gematria, Gematria is not real, or Gematria, blah, blah, blah. Are you taking that shit too serious? Why would I do all that because we had a falling out? Either I rock with the shit or not. I would just take the truth of it and just leave and never contact you again. I could just do that. But to diss you and then to also diss the work or undermine or the power of the work just because, that always seems shady to me, because like, why would you do that? Like it seems disingenuous. And it seems that people do that more out of feelings than out of having some legit reason to think that Gematria is not even really that big of a fucking deal. That's not what he's saying at all, but he played it off like it is. But he's got no substance behind what he's saying to prove that. And he just throws the baby out with the bathwater, off of some feelings of feeling like insulted or something. It all just seems childish, man.
Right. Here, you know what? Shout out to Steven who just left the super chat. You know, seeing your name, Steven, I don't know if you know that this happened, but I met this man in Cleveland and he pounded payment with us all over. I'm pretty sure Steven was in New York City with us as well. He went to multiple cities with us. But what was crazy is when I got back from the trip, when I got back home last year, somebody else who was out there with us, and probably just another instigator in the crowd, was saying that Steven is like this criminal threat and he's actually planning to kill a bunch of us next time. And they just kept sending me all this communication about how dangerous Steven is and I need to protect myself from Steven. And I just knew the person was full of shit. I was like, no way, I just met this guy. No, that's not. I trust me, yeah, right. I always give him the benefit of the doubt, but my eyebrow has always kind of been up about yeah, right, because things that make sense. Steven came out right away. He's down for the cause. He knows the knowledge. I knew that I knew whoever was doing this instigating was just trying to do just that, instigating. And it's funny to see him here tonight. But yeah, he just reminds me also about this is the downside of this world. If we're going to go out and try to do these things, they can be done, but there's always going to be people trying to cause static and friction and just get people to go against each other. And some people are falling for it and then others aren't. And I mean, a lot of people who've fallen off in the community, it's because they were listening to the trolls and what they heard through the grapevine. And it's like, you gotta do better with your instincts. So anyway, shout out to Steven.
Yeah, that's a pretty heavy accusation to throw on.
It was. They were making it seem like, yeah, they were trying to scare me. Like, trust me, he's coming. He's going to kill you. I was just like, no.
And you know what's weird to me, like what bugs me about a lot of stuff that haters tend to say is that they always have these powerful things to say without describing to you how it is that they came to the conclusion that they were right about this assessment about this guy. Where would they get the fucking information from to know that this was actually the case? Where would they get it from? What the fuck? I'm confused, bro.
Yeah, it's just the reason he got actually targeted is because he was doing a really good job pounding pavement. And that's what I understood right away. I was like, I see why they're targeting him, because like his face stood out in the crowd. He was doing things. He had signs. He was speaking out. He knew his shit. That's how they are. And honestly, what's sad is it could have been yeah, right, of the Angel and part of this network, and they targeted him and they looked up some information on him and they're like, let's scare Zach and see if we can get Zach to like do a YouTube video, like calling him out as a serial killer. It's like, it's just, yeah. But hey, it's good to know you're out there. I haven't seen Steven in a minute, but it's funny that he popped up because, yeah, that was also one of the things that came out of New York. I never told that story because I was just like, these people are just trying to create drama, but.
Yeah. Wow.
Anyway, I can tell you're tired, Trey, and it's super late, man, so. But yeah, just I'm telling you, it's better to just ignore the drama and just keep doing your thing, man. Because that's the reason that you're catching, some headwinds and people are now starting to target you and try to slander your name. And again, the guy who's doing that, he's just a goofy guy. And I heard him say something tonight. He said, Zach didn't help raise any money for me. It's like, I didn't. I did 2 live streams for you with donations, and you made a lot of donations, and you thanked me once upon a time. Tonight he said it made him vomit to hear that I helped him raise money. It's like, wow, you are really just a dishonest piece of shit, aren't you? Ungrateful. And I regret that I helped raise a single dime for him. And you know what? The part of me that I feel bad about is he was always suspect to me. And in a way, I didn't even want to help him raise money because I was like, well, if all that happened to you, maybe it's a life lesson and maybe don't be such a fucking moron next time. I think he got pulled over for a DUI. So
really, I think I know who you're talking about. Yeah,
he goes by the name Truth Vibration Podcast. Another Napoleon Complex type guy. He's like 5'5".
Okay. That's not who I thought it was, but yeah.
He was on the podcast with Yeah Right Tonight. He was saying that he found the financial documents that I make millions of dollars a year, which is also bullshit. So
Wow. Strange, man. Yeah, I didn't really get involved with this thinking that I was gonna stir the pot or whatever. It was just two guys who I liked, and I was surprised that you guys weren't getting along, and I must have missed what had happened. I was trying to figure it out. That's all. That's weird.
it is, man. But yeah, Trey, get some rest, man, and don't let the drama get in your head and just ignore it. And I imagine you're gonna have to start more trolls harassing you, so just use that block function. That's what I do.
Oh yeah, cause I already know who I am and where I come from and what I got going on. I'm an average, regular ass dude. Been doing this for almost 5 years. My 5 year anniversary of the open carry will be October 24th. I'll be doing an open carry live stream, taking a day off from work to go do it because I like my job because it pays me kind of well. But employment is slavery, and I fucking know it. They're never going to make me happy enough to be okay doing that and not following my heart. So I'm taking the day off on October 24th. 5 year anniversary of the open carry demo. I've made almost no money doing. I made $200 in 5 years of doing this. I ain't never asked for no money until halfway recently because I'd rather be doing this than my slave job. I don't know what else to do but to wish that this was all I had to do. Like that's what happens. It's not about money at all. You were going to feel that way when you want to spread your message just like you want to. So I don't. Anybody who try to blame you for uh, wanting to sell more books or the hoping that there's more funding to the movement, like what the fuck? If you have any sincere drive behind what it is you're doing, you're going to expect and want other people to feel that way to do it in that way. Like any and everything that they throw at you to talk shit, man, they just do, man. And I'm used to that. Where I come from, hey, if you can't take a little bit of shit talking, then you really soft. So I don't mind any trolls and none of that shit. I know who the fuck I am, and can't nobody troll me about my shit because my shit is golden. I know what the fuck it is that I'm doing. All the haters can kiss my dick. I could care less, bro. It's gonna be funny to me because I don't know what the fuck they think they gonna say, but it's gonna bounce off me. I could care less, bro. I say it the way my cuz would say it. This is what Javier Gabos would say to all that bullshit. Come out here and do something. Fuck all that talking. Come out here and do something. That's what cuz would say.
Exactly. And they're not going to. They're not going to.
Nah.
That's why, just like when I'm on the street, you don't see any of these trolls out there. The trolls live on the internet.
Yeah, they gonna stay there. They're not gonna come out and tell me shit about nothing.
No, they're not. Especially with what you're doing. So
nah, I'm not the one to pick a fight with if I'm not fighting with you. You can't be one fighting with me. Don't do that.
yeah. But again, you guys, and the lesson here is not that we should just give up because there's so many losers around us and instigators and people trying to sabotage everything. The lesson is just keep marching on anyway and try to do better and learn from your mistakes. Because the reality is, had I not gone out to Oklahoma City, I wouldn't have met RPM Tre, and I wouldn't have met a lot of other good people. I got to meet Frank for the first time, and Daria, and all sorts of people. And yeah, there's bad apples in there, but there's plenty of good apples, and people just always want to focus on the negative. But we were very effective when we were in Oklahoma City, and we planted a lot of seeds, even though it's a ghost town, but we planted the seeds where we could. And we were very good in New York, and we were very good as we went across the nation. But yeah, the people that want to tear us down and the people who pretend to be our friends, they are lurking. So that's where you got to use your discernment and have enough common sense. And that's something a lot of people lack.
Yeah, man. Hell yeah.
All right, Tre.
Well, good night or good morning.
Yeah, it's probably what 5 a.m. where you are right now. So
yeah, the sun to be coming up soon, and I don't give a fuck. I'm doing the open carry today and all that. I don't give a fuck about none of that.
Yeah, running on adrenaline. All right, Tre. Good talk, man. You have a good night. Yeah, take care. Yeah, and again, I don't even want to be doing this stream, but at the same time, it's just like I see some people like in the chat in this stuff, and they're getting sucked in. I'm like, are these people really this gullible? This woman who's like been loyal and around here forever, she was in RPM's chat, and she's going, "Oh my god, I can't believe this. Zach's making that kind of money." I'm just like who is this lady? Like, I expect sharper people to be hanging out around here. If you really think that I'm operating in 160 countries and making like over $1 billion a year, I'm sorry, you're a special kind of stupid. So, yeah, I mean, if that was happening, there would be GematriaEffectNews in 160 different nations with 100 employees each. But Yeah, here, let me. I mean, look at all these videos this guy made ever since he came on here. And look at this with the Mortal Kombat live. Come on, Zachary, let's talk. What is Gematria Effect News LLC? You got the Mortal Kombat on here. Hold on, DK's trying to call in. Doesn't anybody sleep? Well, what's up, DK?
Damn, you really? I just told you the other day you're starting to sound like me. The last few days I can't even keep up. You're just totally taking my style and going off on everyone. I thought I would just throw another log on the fire. I wish RPM Tre was still on, but well, first I'll say this: I'm not racist. Just because I said you got sellout niggas around you doesn't mean I'm racist at all. And I wish he was still on so he could give us his opinion on that. But yeah, you got all these trolls making all these videos about you, and now they're mentioning me in there too. So you had the fake Jewish kid from Florida that looks like Rick Moranis made that video about the blue laser saying that I gotta get back on my meds when I was the first one.
But DK, man, like, he's what, 18 years old? Why are you even trying to fight with him?
No, I'm just saying. I mean, the guy's now making videos mentioning me. Like, I mean, is he schizophrenic? I was the one who exposed that first. It was live on your show. It's on my page from 2 months ago. He makes a video 5 days ago saying he's like, dude, already been there, done that 2 months ago. So. Yeah, I mean, I'm totally with you on everything you're saying. I've been telling you this stuff for, I kind of noticed within a month or two after following your work, I'm like, wow. I mean, when he does his solo shows, everything's great. But as soon as people start calling in, it's like the Howard Stern show, got a cast of just absolute clowns. And then maybe 1 in, 20 is actually legit. And, well, I mean, I told you a long time ago, I can't really teach you nothing. You already know everything. Maybe I could come up with like one gem out of 10 things I say, something you hadn't heard before, but it's not going to be anything, life-changing or anything like that. One thing I do wish I could give you is my intuition, but you can't do that. So, yeah, I second everything you guys are saying. You're right on point about everything. And if you, maybe I'll tell you one day in private, I don't even want to blow it all up. Who all I think is agents. You won't even believe it. You'll think I'm nuts. But yeah, I definitely think you're right about everything you said, and there's more that you haven't even uncovered yet that I've already kind of settled in my mind. Yeah, that person's not legit. This person's not legit, but some of them are still part of the show. So I'll just let it go for right now. I'll tell you in private when I see you next.
Okay.
But that's about it. And yeah, just keep plugging along. Fuck these people. It doesn't matter. They're never gonna come out in public, like I always keep saying. Just please come out. I invite you. I'll write you. I'll go buy a Hallmark card and send you an invitation. But they won't show up. They're too pussies. I'll pick one of these guys up by their ear, like European parents do to their misbehaving children, and just drag them off. So. Anyway, I'm just getting back from going out, and I heard you were on. I'm like, what the heck is he talking about at this hour when he wakes up in 2 hours? So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, DK. Appreciate it, man.
All right. Talk to you soon, man.
Yeah, later.
Good night.
But yeah, look at this guy. I mean, he's got 3 hours and 38 minutes, 3 hours and 6 minutes. So that's 6 hours and 45 minutes, an hour and 8 minutes. So what are you up to? 7 hours and 53 minutes, and then almost another 4-hour video. So we have almost 12 hours of video streamed in the last day and a half or so. And I mean, like, all of this targeting me simply because I asked him what his name was and if he can share how he made so much wealth. And since he says he knows how to avoid all taxes, if he could share that, just nothing. So his response is to just spam away about me. Now he's doing exactly the same guy who brought into the community. This guy, Cuts One, who does about 10 hours of streaming a day. He usually keeps up one stream and deletes the other. If you guys don't know, that's what he's been doing for like a month and a half. Now he's operating just like him. All these videos are about me. Literally every single one of these videos is about me. And again, I wasn't even paying attention to this. I became aware of this through Right the Matrix, who let me know. And then he was trying to pull me into it with all of his text messages tonight about how depressing it was to him, but then he couldn't confront him himself. And that kind of showed me, like, wait a minute, you're trying to pull me into this drama, and then you really actually don't have a problem with it because you guys are just chopping it up like everything's all good. And yeah, again, I mean, it's just like, where did these people actually come from? These people have never contributed anything when you think about it. They've hung around and they've instigated. So yeah, that does seem like what their whole goal is, to just kill the support, to just try and like discourage, get us to all give up. It's not going to happen. I'm not going to give up. I'm on a mission, so I'll be back on the mission as soon as tomorrow. Well, or as soon as later today, actually. So anyway, disambiguation. He's Nathan. He's out. He's been out with us, pound and payment all over the place. Whoa. Yeah, all the trolls, they're always in there. Anyway, we'll leave it there for now. It's late. I got to get some rest. But yeah, again, I mean, if there's anybody out there that's seriously falling for all the crap that's always said about me, again, all the accusations, Jewish, Mossad, CIA, Fed, all this stuff, it's bullshit. And what Truth Vibration was saying about, like, what you do is just like one little small piece of the. Okay, but again, like, who's sharing something that's more meaningful? Did anyone like? How about this right here? I mean, Afghanistan earthquake on the anniversary of us attacking there on 10/7. What piece of knowledge like really shows how fucked up and corrupt this is better than Gematria? I mean, do I not have a book talking about the 1989 World Series earthquake and the 107 all over it, and how they've used this number a million times? But here we are on 10/7, the anniversary of the military invasion, when military and earthquake are both 107, and we had the good fortune of Jesse Ventura in the past talking about Navy SEALs planting big bombs along fault lines, and some earthquakes actually aren't natural. So on 10/7 of all days, Afghanistan gets rocked with a deadly earthquake, and they report at least 15 dead when war equals 15 and the date numerology is 15. Then it jumps up to 120 killed when it's the 15th triangular number. And again, 6-3 has to do with a lot of things, including Judaism, and we know what's going on in Israel today. And of course, we attacked Afghanistan on Ehud Barak's orders, the leader of Israel at the time. But yeah, I mean, like, people will always make comments like what Truth Virus did to undermine my work. Like, Zach thinks his work is so important. It's just one small piece of everything going. It's like, okay, so show me something else that like really cuts through and exposes what's going on. Like what I just showed about the military and the earthquake, and a gazillion other examples I have with that same pattern. This right here, 50 years ago, 50 years on, divided Israel remembers the war for its survival. So notice this was published by Reuters October 6th, which was the 50th anniversary of the Yom Kippur War. This is one day before the new war breaks out in Israel. 50, right? And again, did we not just have the 10-4 over and out warning in the US and in Russia? And again, from understanding Gematria, remember what I said on 10-4? I said how it was pointing to October 7th, just like I said in the video. You can go back and watch from October 4th. And we were able to point that out from Gematria. But we were talking about the history of, Afghanistan, the CIA, Osama bin Laden, where Russia fits in, where Israel fits in. And it's just like, boom, October 7th, everything we talked about coming together even more clearly. Can't spell USA without Jerusalem. But again, the 10-4 message received. Now we have this big emergency in Israel, right? They referred to it as a terrorist attack. We talked about how the terminology of terrorist attack aligns with October 7th. We just talked about this on October 4th. Today's headline, here it is right here. Today's headline, how they referred to what happened in Israel as a terrorist attack. And if you did not watch my video on October 4th and how we had all this mapped out for October 7th, 3 days before it happened, go back and watch, And we've just been doing this all these years and not getting enough recognition or credit for it. A guy like Truth Virus over the years, he'll say like, Truth Virus has told his people to watch my videos, but he never actually shares the work himself on his own channel. It's like, why can't you share it, man? Why can't more people, like seriously, out of the 10 years that he's been watching, he's watched a lot of great predictions. Never once talked about any, but then today he's just so provoked by my little comment, goes on a rant, talks all kinds of shit. It's the most he ever talked about me. And that shows you like what's inside a human being. And see, that's what it's just like so many people, they think they're like this great person. They think they're like spiritually endowed. They think they're, I mean, you listen to Truth Virus, he thinks he's a very spiritual person walking in the light. But is he really? I mean, today what I just heard is he's not really going to stand up for anything. He's going to be a judgmental, bitter hater. And at the end of the day, he's going to bow down for a slave job above all else. That's the only thing that really he's going to make sure he's at each day, is slave job. He can't do better than the slave job that he's miserable and doesn't like. That says a lot about a man. If that's you, that says a lot about you. If you're miserable in your work and you can't do any better, that says a lot about you. You don't have the courage to break away from that and create something better for yourself. You don't have the capability. But anyway, they had to refer to this as a terrorist attack. Remember what we pointed out the other day, how terrorist attacks 207, like October 7th, like the rest of the list, because they were encoding 207 in the Reuters headline when they broke the news about the 10-4 emergency alert in Russia at 10:40 a.m. But the 50-year anniversary, right? Again, and they're doing this on the anniversary of America invading Afghanistan, America in all 50 states. America is 50. Emergency's 50. The emergency is credited to the Donald. We got the first iteration while he was in office. And Jesuits is 50. And Washington's 50, like the nation's capital. Circle is 50. The circle in ritual magic. You know what I mean? So the day before this pops off, Reuters publishing a story about the war 50 years ago. Go figure. And I already covered these other things in the morning, so I'm not going to go over that again. But also the first headline when it broke today was that there were 40 dead. Just notice how emergency is also 40, right? It's 50 and 40. Just like United States is 40, like US is 40, like Old Testament's 40. And like we talked about the other day, in Jewish gematria, United States of America equals 929. And there's 929 chapters in the Old Testament. And that's that film, Four Blood Moons, about how if there was never Jews, there would have never been America because America was completely financed by Jews. Watch the documentary Four Blood Moons. That's what they claim. There'd be no America without no Jewish bankers. It's not an anti-Semitic film. It's a film by Jews. It's a film by proud Jews who are proud that they financed America. But, yeah, again, just what are the odds, right? What are the odds it all works out this way? So, the big game that's being played with us. And what's amazing is, did a really great video this morning on this. Nobody talked about that at all today. Nobody, several videos were made about me today. There's probably about 10 new YouTube videos slandering me today, but nobody was concerned enough to, you know, no one's concerned about the latest war being started up, the one that was written about by Albert Pike that could be the signal for the Third World War. Nobody was passionate enough today to share my work about this and stream for 5 hours about this and how much we should be concerned about this. And part of the reason I didn't go out this year is not only because support went down, but because in my mind I'm thinking like, well, who are the people who come out when I go out? There are some good people, but like a lot of the people, they don't really do anything. They just stand around and then they don't organize and network all year and they never share the work. And, there are people like, yeah, right, streaming all day about nothing, sharing the work of trolls. The people who were trolling us last year, they're sharing their work, but never share mine. It's just, so like I said, it's like I got to figure out a way to reach more people. I got to get more boots on the ground, more people with talent who can actually contribute. And unfortunately, we just don't have enough of those people right now. It's the bottom line. There's not enough people who care. There's a lot of haters in the world. There's a lot of jealous people. There's not a lot of people who are really up for the cause. And yeah, I'll talk about another post I wrote today. And yeah, I'll save that one for later. I got to get some rest tonight. Thank you also, MJE. Shout out to Zach and the movement. Support and share if you really care about humanity. I don't know if you necessarily need to share this video. This video is just kind of to address just the crap that's going on right now. It's the kind of video I wish I never had to make. But please do share almost every other video I make. I'm grateful for that. I don't know if this one needs to get shared. This one just needs to hash out some things and respond to some nonsense. And that's the thing that's just blown my mind. All these slanders over the years, I'm just like amazed that anybody falls for them. What kind of people fall for this stuff? All right, True Seeker. Have a good evening, good morning, and until next time.